Hi folks, Will at LR Workshop. In this video I trawl some eBay ads and I give my unadulterated opinions on how sellers could make their Defender listings more attractive. As background to this, I pretty much check eBay daily for all new Defender listings, and I have done for about the last 7 years. It's a bit of a hobby. I mean, I trawl eBay for other things as well, Defender parts and what have you, but it's a bit of a hobby. I kind of do it because I enjoy it. And when I say daily, I mean probably 300 days a year. I've also bought 3 Defenders in my life from online listings, and I've been to see about 15 Defenders in the flesh that I've seen online originally. So, as you can imagine, I have some strong opinions about the kind of problems I see quite regularly on listings, and some of them are quite easy to rectify. So, I've made this video potentially or hopefully as a series of tips that will help sellers and maybe even help buyers become more informed about buying vehicles, buying Defenders, particularly online. I'm not saying that the tips I'm giving are right. This video is just totally subjective and opinion based. However, I am a discerning buyer, so I'd like to think that my opinion holds some kind of value. I also don't want this to be seen as shitting on other people's for sale ads, so I've posted this video after all those adverts have ended, so the ones you'll be seeing have already been and gone, unless it's like a classified ads from a business, in which case, you know, they're a business, they're fair game. It's quite a long video because it's totally unscripted and unedited, and if people like these videos, then I could do them as a regular series in future, because they'd be quite quick to make and they might be quite interesting. Also, if you've got any tips of helping people sell their Defenders, then leave a comment below. There is a bit of bad language in this video, but we're all adults, so you have been warned. Let's get into it. So I'm on eBay here, and we're just going to go and type in Land Rover Defender. See what we come up with. Let's go number 1. 138 people watching. Okay, so this is a B-Reg. So it's not a Defender, it's a 90. Looks like a bit of an off-road toy. Looks like it's just been washed. It's got Series 3 or Series 2 side panels on it from the 88. So it's maybe not a genuine hardtop. Could have been a truck cab or anything like that. Checker plate on the rear cross member. Oh my god. It's had some money spent on it. Certainly. It's had a bit of a rebuild, maybe like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. Oh yeah, you can see that these are the old 90 pedals here. Got the old steering wheel. That looks like it could be an LT77. Got a sunroof. No doubt that'll leak. Yes, it's got some money spent on it. I think you could take the light bar off. I think they look a bit naff. You could probably take the winch off and that would help you set. Whoa. Why didn't they start with that photo? Why have you started with all these, like, where you've just washed it on a driveway in an estate, suburban estate, and you've got these photos? Oh man, why didn't you? They should have started the advert with these. These make it look stunning, if I'm honest. But see, those are really good photos. Let's go and have a look at what's going on here. There's an engine 300 Ti conversion, so there's no photos of the engine bay or the conversion or anything like that. So there's no photos of the chassis, to be honest, either. And a vehicle have they got any galvanised chassis in here? Don't think so. Chassis rear crossmember replaced, outriggers. Okay, so there's no photos of the chassis, which unfortunately someone who buys this is probably going to buy an absolute dog. Currently sawned, yeah, it's off MOT. There's you'd have to go and look at the MOT, but that chassis is probably horrific. You also want to see what the 300 TDI conversion is like, see if it's done semi-professionally. But bolt to an LT77, yeah, there's probably there's a bit of modifications going on in there probably. You'd want to know a bit more about that, but you could probably take the winch off, sell the bits, rebuilt onto a good chassis. What's that? 1970 reg date. 1984 year, fair enough. B-Reg. newly converted in 2014, originally rebuilt on good chassis and bulkhead. I think you need to get to the bottom of this. These photos might have been when it was rebuilt in 2014, and this is what it looks like now. Yeah, not too sure about that one. I think you would need... I think it's not... Well, it's an old vehicle. It's been blinged up a bit. You potentially got some problems there. I think you could get more for your money. A newer vehicle that's more original state than for $5,000. I'm not going to be commenting on the price, whether I think it's value for money. That always comes down to the buyer at the end of the day. And I don't want to poo-poo on what people are valuing stuff for. I'm just trying to give tips on what I think could be done to make it more saleable. What we got on it? Oh, what is that for a photo? What am I going to tell from that? It's covered in foam. Fair enough, you wash your car. Great. What else? Yeah, brilliant photo. Get your photos the right way round. My God. Fair enough. At least they wash the car. That's a bonus. You said, just rotate them properly. You can do it inside eBay, upside down. My God. Well, there you go. Rotate your photos properly. Bit of a description. There we go. What's next? Oh, hello. So we got an old Snatch Defender. Oh, need bigger resolution photos. These aren't good enough. So we've got a photo of it with its door open. Looks like it's had a show. Photos there. So that looks like a photo taken by a dealer. They tend to park up on the side of the road somewhere. It's this very characteristic kind of style of photo of either ex-MOD, the Defender Centre in West Midlands, or Foley's also do this, and then Jan the Landyman in Lancashire do it this way as well. They kind of park up, so you get this kind of on the side of the road kind of look. These photos are from all over the place. We've got one at a show, one on the road, one on a bit of a driveway, another one at a show, and that one's tiny. They need to put more effort into photos, particularly if you're trying to sell this. I mean, XMD Snatch 300 TDI. I mean, sell it for what it is. It's a 300 TDI. It's basically the rest of the world's Defender underneath. Like, sell it for what it is. Show the fact that it's got aircon and it's got probably a low mileage 300 TDI under the bonnet. The chassis is new. It's got a new axle. This kind of stuff. I would show that stuff. 37,000 miles. Yeah, it doesn't really show that from the photos at the moment. But there are a lot of people watching it, so maybe people know what it is really. Let's have a look at this one. G-Reg. Okay. G-Reg, so we're talking 1989 here. That's had a lot of money spent on it. Unfortunately, this is a real downer for me, it's got extended wheel arches, which basically means you've utterly destroyed the bodywork because you've had to cut the wings, the wheel arches to fit these. You could get a replacement panel here, but getting a new tub is just utterly expensive. That's really, yeah. It looks like they're trying to make an off-road toy, or they made an off-road toy, but there's no winch in it. It's had a respray. Okay, it's in a garage, rear winch tray. Looks like it's been a bit of a project for an off-road toy. The paintwork looks quite good. It's not a bad colour. Bit of checker plate, which is unfortunate, but oh god, it's a 2.5 turbo diesel. Probably one of the worst engines that was fitted into the 110/90 Defender. Range, that is horrible. That is, I drove one of these once. They're utterly gutless and they leak oil and breathe heavily. Plus, this is pre-brake rationalisation, so you've got all Imperial fittings and not particularly modern master cylinder and servo. And why have they spent so much money on this? And it's, oh man, how have they spent so much money on the outside? Like, they've put a lot of money into this, and then look at that, and they're trying to. Wow. Okay, so this is obviously a project that's just not going well. Ideally, they need to sell all these bits separately. And I feel sorry for them actually, because they've piled a load of money into this, and they either need the money back sharpish, or they don't have the time to complete the project. But if you're going to spend all that money, I mean, Respray, I mean, it could be a couple of thousand on that. Why would you spend it on a G-Reg 110 hardtop that's got a 2.5 turbo diesel in it? That's just, well, good luck with that is all I can say. Good luck with that. Yeah, there we go. It's a bugbear of mine, but on the internet you shouldn't use what's known as serif fonts, i.e. Times New Roman. You've got to use things like Arial, Calibri, stuff like that. You can at least put these in bullet points, do a bit more of its backstory. You've just listed all the new stuff you put on it. It's never really a plus point for me, because you look at that and think, okay, so it's all new, hardly any of it's original. It all relies on the ability of the person bolting this stuff on to know whether it's actually going to be good quality or not. Let's oh, scam. That's a scam right there. That is a scam right there. Okay, so we've got a 56 plate. It looks half decent. 110 XXS as well. 110 double cab. 5,200. Absolutely no positive feedback on their, hardly anything. 11 is nothing. It means they're a brand new eBayer. That is an utter scam. So the way this works is that you look at that and you go, oh my god, so these are probably worth late teens, 16, 17,000 pounds. The way this works is someone looks at that and says, oh my god, that's really cheap. Oh crap, I need to buy that before someone else gets it. I don't even need a 110 double cab, but for that price it's worth having it, and I can make 10 grand on this. So what I'm going to do is contact the seller and say, yep, I'll have it. The seller will say, okay, can you send me a deposit to secure it? Send me 500 quid. Here's my bank details. You send the money. Game over. Never hear from them again. That's general. So this is a genuine advert, probably somewhere, either from eBay or Gumtree or something like that. But someone set up a scam account. They've copied the advert so that it looks legitimate, and then they've just put it up as a really cheap price. So if it looks too good to be true, probably definitely is. But otherwise, it looks like a very good vehicle. I mean, it's clean, straight, it's unmodified. I would take these headlight guards off. They are horrific. Where did they go? I've never seen those before. They are horrific. It's got a DRO bumper. They ain't cheap. Yeah, it's quite nice. Yeah, cross member's in good condition. The only downside of this is it might be, in the UK, it might be quite high tax bracket, because it's 2006. If it's not registered as commercial, it might be 2006. But these are pretty. These are good photos. Got photos of all sides, interior. Personally, I'd want more photos. There's none of the underside. Okay, it's been wrapped in the back, so it's had some money spent on it. Very clean under the engine bay. I think it's a good Defender. It just needs more photos underneath, really, and that would seal the deal. If it wasn't a scam, that would seal the deal as a good purchase. Let's have a look down here. Oh, hello, Puma. This one's been bidded on. So that looks pretty good. Pumas will fetch good money and people will want them. After these photos, they're taking it at sunset. I mean, you cannot get a good photo. I mean, people tend to take photos of their vehicle, like, whenever they get a chance. And in the winter, it's particularly hard if it's not sunny. But like, at least try and put some effort into it. Like, you're selling a multi-thousand-pound asset. Put the time in, I would say, to try and, like, it just comes down to hoovering it, cleaning it, try and put it in its best light, because people are going to be spending thousands on this. The fact that it's a bid and there is no reserve, or the reserve has been met, this will probably sell, but it may not sell as much as you want it for, because you haven't put as much effort into it. But 72,000. Format the text a little bit. I mean, that's just a massive block of text. Put some headings in, like history or modifications or something like this. Yeah, here we go. It's a fairly standard vehicle though, so you probably couldn't go that far wrong with it. What are we going on here? Roll cage. V-Reg, so that's late 90s, so we're talking about that's a 10p TD5, so it's probably got a bunch of problems. Roll cage, so it might have been an off-roader. Looks a bit crusty and marked. Photo. This is the first photo of a chassis I've had on a listing. So this is what allows you to get actually an understanding. If it's rotten, there's no way of hiding it. I've been to see some vehicles that are just utterly disgusting when you go and see them. So these are just good, honest photos. Actually, it does look pretty crusty. You know what people know what they're getting themselves in for. I think you could have cleaned it a bit more, perhaps. It's things like the door check straps off. Very rusty inside, which means it's probably been abandoned for some time with the windows open or anything. Crossmember has been plated all around there. This looks pretty horrible. It's a bit, it's not been looked after. It's been a bit of a toy, may have been like sunk in a quarry somewhere, and that's all the photos. Yeah, a bit of an off-road toy. I think you could give it a good clean, give it a new bumper, take all this A-frame, replace some of the plastic, shouldn't be too expensive, and take these mats out. I think they always look horrible. You never know what's hiding underneath these. Just give it a good scrub down. Give it a good scrub down, and at least it's got a fighting chance. And replace that door card. Just needs cleaning. Just needs cleaning, that one. Oh, hello. V-Reg. Oh, they've put that number plate on. Makes it look a bit odd. Are these big photos? Or are these little photos? They're little photos. Got some nice alloys on. Essentially, if it's been modified, at least they've put some effort into the photos. That one's upside down. But they're not. Oh, there we go. They've loaded now. So there's been a fair amount of mods put into this. It's got a Puma bonnet. Got all the Recaro seats. Haynes manual in the back. So they obviously like tinkering. It's got a Raptor console, new headlining, although that's a bit tatty. Photos, these could be better. It's got some new alloys, I'm not sure what those are, but it's got, changed the suspension and that. It's all been changed. It's got the later doors on it, Puma doors, rounded, talled up doors, so it's had a decent amount of money spent on it. Actually. It's a bit tasteless. It's quite a bit of checker play there. What I would do is take those headlamps off. They would fetch you a bit of money. That looks like a bowler. That looks like a bowler bumper. You'd sell that. Sell the bits under here. You could sell that grill. That looks like an adventure or heritage, the adventure series grill from a Puma. You could change the number plate. It just looks odd. Just like looks like it's trying to be an old vehicle that's been modified. Get some better photos up. Could have had a remap. You never know. I think this is potential. I think it's a potential good purchase. You do need to know what's gone on under the chassis though. It's got a lot of new bits put onto it, not new body panels. It's got the rear door and that, and this is like a 1999 vehicle. Let's see what they've put on. Oh, there's hardly anything. Well, it's sort of a Puma bonnet, steel doors, Bilstein, vented discs. Okay, you think you know what you're talking about, do you? 4-pot calipers. 4-pot, yep. Into the rear Tarox DCI. Turbo Technics, turbo, too much to list. One per previous owner, 20,000 receipts. So the receipts thing, a lot of people put that in there. It's like, I've spent tons of money on this vehicle, that's why it's really expensive. Well, really, that means that this is a vehicle that the new owner might be having to spend tons of money in. It's a bit of a money pit. It's never a good thing. I don't think you should list how much you've spent on it. It's worth what it's worth. If the transfer box blew up and you had to put a new one on, recondition one on for 800 quid the month before you sold it, the new buyer wouldn't really care that much because it's still, the whole rest of the vehicle's in the same condition. It's if you had to plough 800 quid in to make it drivable or make it pass an MOT, doesn't mean it's worth 800 quid more. Simple as that. So, showing all the receipts. The receipts are only good to show that a proof of service history, but ploughing all this stuff in, if you wanted your money back, you'd have to take that steel doors, those two front steel doors, they'd go for £1,000. The Puma bonnet, 400 quid. LED headlights, 300 or 400 quid. Bilstein suspension, probably 200 quid more. You might not take the brake discs off, but you could replace all this stuff relatively straightforwardly. And you get more of your money back. As it is, starting at 3.5. It's only just started, but yeah, you might not get your money back on all those mods. You take them off and sell them, that's how you get your money back. What's this one? £27,000. P-Reg, so 300 TDI. Those wheels are awful. 205 tyres, they're not I don't think they work on a Defender. It's just too slow. I mean, I've had them on I did a whole journey. I did a 200-mile journey on my second Defender on 205 tyres just because they were junk ones I put on. And the thing was, and this is with 4.1 diffs, the thing was screaming at 50 miles an hour at top revs pretty much on the motorway. But these, like, you give you more acceleration, fair enough, but you're ragging the nuts off it at any kind of cruising speed. Anyway, it's had money spent on it. It's had a respray. Not too sure on the colour. It's not a standard colour. Out of focus. Photo. Oh, galvanised chassis. There we go. Okay, so here's where they're justifying the money been put into it. Covering up the number plate. I know why people do it when they own it and they're just putting photos and stuff on the forum, but you want people to be able to look up the MOT history. There's no point hiding the MOT history and everything else, because they're going to be owning this vehicle, and if there's a massive problem with it, they're going to probably come knocking on your door. So it's better just be open and honest and say, here's the registration number, go and look it up online. It also allows people to get HPI checks online before they could even come and see it. You don't want to waste anyone's time. Yeah, so that's some money spent on it. So we've got what's that? A Cooper Discoverer wheel, a tyre there. There's a spare, but that's a bigger tyre size than the rest of it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a kind of a full rebuild. I don't really like the black on the bulkhead. Yeah, it looks like it's had a fair amount spent on it. I mean, they've replaced the coolant bottle, at least you can see. Top rubber's missing. They kept the EGR on it, which is interesting. There's a rebuild. Galvanised chassis, fair enough. Terra firma suspension. Yeah, they've gone to town on it. Yeah, full body off rebuild. Or maybe it's not Cooper Discoverer. Those tyres are awful. You're not going to get £27,000 for that. Simple. Although I did say I wasn't going to talk about price, but you just can't ignore it in this case. Oh, not 205, 235 70, so they're pretty small. I would get some 235 85s on it. Different wheels, they look disgusting, they look awful, because they never came in black. That means you repainted them. The black bonnet looks a bit odd. I mean, the colour choice isn't that great, but the photos are relatively good. Kiwi green, look at that. Bogey green, that's another name for it. 99% of move. Yeah, rebuild, fair enough. It's worth going to check it out, but there we go. Ooh, Spectre edition. I think they mean Alpine restorations. There we go. These things, you want to check it's genuine first. Ooh, nice 130 pulse in the back there. Yeah, these things are kind of collector's items now. If you know about the one on Harry's garage. Oh, you got to be made of money to buy this one. To be honest, these kind of vehicles, if this is a genuine one, you could probably, you could put up the world's worst advert and it'd probably still sell. But there we go. Let's jump down a bit. See what's going on down here. Oh, wolf. The thing about wolves is, let's see if they use the word rare. No, it's not, because it's Marple Road Garage. They just put up very simple. But generally, wolves, you'll generally see the word rare in there. Oh, another Marple Road Garage. Blimey, they've got tons. Let's see if the word rare is in this one. No. God, where are they selling them from? Crikey. But anyway, you normally see the word rare, even though there's always about 3 or 4 wolves on eBay for sale at any one time. People still call them rare. So that you can buy a wolf. You will pay over the odds for them, probably. Usually they're in quite good condition. They've been repaired or rebuilt at some point. Chassis photos, that's good. So we can see this, and we can see it's a genuine wolf chassis. It's not some kind of replica, because you can get Tithonius 110s that have been upgraded. They ain't that great. Yeah, it looks quite good. Need some high-res photos on there, certainly. More, I mean, you've got a double photo. What's the point in that? Like, spend some time on it, will you? And a bit more of a description. What's its history? You know, something like that. What's its heritage? Where's it been? You can find out that information quite easily from its original military registration number, the VRN. You can find out where it's been just by Googling it, basically. So spend some time on that. You're sending a Defender that's automatic, so why not start with a photo of the automatic gearbox just to prove it. Fair enough, it's had an upgrade. Is it V8? No, it's a TD5. So that's interesting, that's quite unique. TD5 with automatic gearbox. Normally they came on the V8. Okay, so we've got two. Which one is it? Which vehicle am I buying? Am I buying that one? Or am I buying this one? I'm assuming this is the vehicle before it got modified into the boosts, but you never quite know. But then these are the photos of it before it's had the boosts on. So how long ago is this? Is this when you bought it 7 years ago? Or what? Yeah, it's just as a buyer, it's just making me ask more questions. Still no photos of the chassis. For sale is my County Defender. 4 years old, I bought it, had one owner. Another receipts, these are how much I've spent on it. Yeah, don't talk about receipts. Just give it the photos of as it is now. This is just ambiguous. Fair enough, it looked better when you bought it. It's like when you know, guys in their 40s put on dating websites photos and then when they're 25. Fair enough, you look better when you were 25, but it's not the reality now. Times have changed. There we go. That one could be improved, but not too shabby. Ooh, hello. That one screams brand new. Look at that. Oh, immaculate condition. I want to prove that this is immaculate condition. Oh wow. Look at the chassis, it's actually black. So what's going on here? Either this is an immaculate Defender, or it's had a quick flash over spray. Although it does look quite clean, although this gives it away. You've got quite a heavy wear mark in the rubber there, in the mat, which means it's had fairly heavy use, and the steering wheel's quite worn, there's no bubbles left on it. So how is it in such immaculate condition? There's no scuff marks in the back. How is it in such immaculate condition? Okay, so they've sprayed over. That's why it looks dark. Okay, so on the face of it, it says immaculate condition. If there was any rust under here, you've got no clue because they've just sprayed all over it. And you see you've got overspray here and you can see the diff and the brake disc the brake disc shields. So this is basically less immaculate than you would think it is. It's been sprayed over. You have no idea what's going on under this. Newly sprayed chassis of anything, paint, dinitrile, wax, or whatever it is a bad point for buyers because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I once went to see a Defender. It had about a centimetre of mud over the entire chassis, and I just walked away. I was like, I don't know what the state the chassis is in because it's covered in mud. Fair enough, you might want to hide something that's under there, but you just lost a buyer because I'm not interested. I cannot tell what I'm getting myself into, you know. So that is a bit of a downside. Fair enough, it does look unbelievably immaculate. They may have done something to it. Immaculate condition, recently serviced, full professional. There we go. Respray. Body immaculate, unsealed chassis, refurbished wall wheels. Okay, so it's been refurbished. Doesn't say anything about mechanical. There's no photos of the engine. How many miles has it got? 61,000. That could be right. Probably right. I mean, it'd be illegal if it wasn't right, but potentially quite a good buy there. But I would want to go around the chassis with a hammer, just making sure that it was what it said it was. They could put the fact that it's a Defender. Actually, photos of a Defender inside are quite appealing because most Defenders are normally just sat in the muck. If it's indoors, it kind of hints towards a Defender being looked after. If you've got a photo of a Defender in even if it's a warehouse or something, you know, or a barn or anything like that, it just gives the impression that it's not been sat in the appalling English weather for all of its life, even if it has. Yeah, I'd want to go around all of that chassis because I've seen some bad chassis that have been sprayed. They just spray over the mud. Like, you need to steam clean this off to do it properly and then spray it. I just want to make sure that was the case. Bit of a dent on the exhaust there. There's a few dents on the crossmember here, but at least they've shown some photos. We need better photos, basically. all angles. We need up in the rear crossmember, outriggers both sides. Just need tons and tons and tons of photos. If you reach the limit on eBay, just start embedding them as links in here, or you can embed photos from elsewhere like Imgur or other photo hosting platforms. You can just put them in the bottom here and embed them in high res format in the bottom. Just get as many photos out. And some people open up Google Drives. They have a Google Photos album or something, and they just say, oh, and here's more photos, and you can go and get massively high res photos. That would be a pretty good way of doing it. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed this video, or if you'd like to see more videos of me talking about the stuff that I find on eBay, then leave a comment or thumbs up and subscribe, because these are quite easy videos to produce. And as I say, I've got a lot of experience of trawling eBay. I can see some of the tricks, some of the pitfalls, and hopefully these videos can help sellers as well as buyers. Buyers be more informed about what you're buying and what a seller's trying to do, or potential problems, and also for sellers, try and get, you know, the money that your vehicle's worth, or try and pull out a few tricks, or just make a bit of an effort so that you can actually sell your Defender. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.